With the releases of Baldur's Gate 3, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Dave the Diver, Starfield, Sea of Stars, remakes and iterations of the next Diablo, System Shock, Mortal Kombat, Metroid, Final Fantasy, and more in just 2023, it feels a lot like the early 2000s. This year was incredible, and this is after the year that Elden Ring largely swept the Game of the Year awards, a game built on old school sensibilities and mechanics made new again and polished up for a new era. Specifically, this year's Game of the Year contenders were heavy in RPG representation and focused on player agency. Player agency is that thing we refer to in game design as allowing the player to guide the decisions and outcomes of the game, often in a systemic way. It's about giving them a way to express themselves, to play the game they want to play. If you remember the early 2000s, our industry was led by games like BioShock, The Sims, GTA 3 spin-offs, Elder Scrolls, Star Wars KOTOR, Diablo 3, Fable 1 and 2, Deus Ex, Half-Life 2, immersive sims, world simulation, better NPC AI, and player agency were at the root of the industry's conversation. Retro sensibilities around player choice are back in vogue, and I am here for it. I have immense respect for the craftsmanship of the linear interactive stories like The Last of Us and God of War. Here's looking at you, Sony. They employ a ton of people in the industry, and they push our tech and our storytelling forward, and they aren't the reason why I personally chose to make games as a medium, say over film, books, or comics. My first love, and the entire reason I make and publish video games, is the opportunity to give authorship to the player. I want to delight and surprise the player by respecting their choices and the way they want to play. Games do this systemically with NPC behavior, factions, ecological patterns and behaviors in the game, and the allowance for hijinks. Rockstar and Maxis are leaders in this approach. Games also do this by authoring many potential outcomes on top of systems like Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect, Fable, or anything from Bethesda. Games with lighter budgets may approach this by putting 100% of agency and world outcome into the hands of player, like, wait for it, Farming Simulator. The moment I played the first SimCity in the early 1990s, everything changed for me. I was putting down those little square blocks and traffic was turning on and the city was turning on, and suddenly there was a whole world happening inside that machine. And this blew the doors open for me more than Pong or more than the Atari. Being able to see a world come to life hooked me on game development and making games that are all about this player agency. Agency is what no other medium can do. It's what games do best. The Last of Us is arguably a better TV show than a video game. And man, isn't it an amazing TV show. As groundbreaking as it is for games to raise the bar for cinematic storytelling and writing, this approach puts us in this constant contrast with the film industry, where we're never gonna be as good, but look how close we came. Giving players control of outcomes in ways that we developers maybe didn't even expect is the magic of gaming. With the next Sims and GTAs on the horizon, as well as the increase in Roblox, Fortnite, and Minecraft creator content over the next few years, I expect player preference to be heavily weighted towards games which deliver player agency moving forward, particularly with generations that are younger than millennials. When we build linear crafted experiences, we're always driven by more and more and more and more content. When you build systemic storytelling platforms, the content is driven by the players. This is where my personal passion for building and publishing games exists. Here's a test. If a content creator on YouTube posted a story or narrative portions of your game, would every creator post the same video? How varied would this content be on YouTube? Could I watch it 10 different times from 10 different content creators and watch 10 very different stories play out in the game, all within the same world and high-level world events? How realistic we make gaming tech and how much like a movie we make our stories is an interesting exercise, and there's certainly money to be made in the novelty of the remarkable advancements in this effort. Ultimately, this generates a collective arms race, though, with high content churn, spiraling dev costs, and cyclical layoffs. Games which emphasize underlining content generation systems have the opportunity to become platforms all on their own through modding and creator tools, or just telling the high variance of player outcomes generated through social media and YouTube at scale, allowing games to punch well above their weight when it comes to marketing and player retention and engagement. If 2023 is any indication of where game design and production is headed towards 2030, it personally feels to me like we're course correcting, getting the industry headed back to what it does best, where its lasting power is. With the incredible advancements in tools in the late 2010s with Unreal Engine 5 and internal publisher engines, I believe our industry got a little distracted flexing its newfound ability to push better graphics and cinematography at scale. Now as costs have gotten out of control, we're being forced back to reevaluate our priorities and how to effectively bring our players into the storytelling. Long term, I believe this is great for players. It's great for our medium, and it bodes well for creativity in the video game industry. 2024, I'm ready for you. If you made it to the end of this video, please consider giving it a like and this channel a subscribe. Thanks, I'm Patrick, aka Lordy. Keep your chin up, your heart open. I believe in you. Thanks for watching.